too many modern women who won't admit that we were lied to. Too many modern women won't admit that, yo, we made a mistake. Let's switch it. Let's stop and switch it. A lot of them prefer to stay on this never trust a man. Keep your guards up. All men are toxic.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Coon Hub. Have you ever asked yourself why women today find it so difficult to confide in men? Is it just me, or do they seem to be holding back everything their true nature was meant to be? The more gentle and nurturing spirit. Is it because every man they came in contact with have done them wrong? Or were they taught this mindset? Could it be possible that they learned this from their moms, the media, or a friend that lied to them because she was jealous? Let's see what we can pull from this.
I'm going to talk about a post that I saw on Instagram because this post really struck something with me. I can relate so much with this post because I was one of those women who was told to go to school, get your education, don't focus on a man. Men come after, men come second to your education and your career. And then now I find myself at my age, unmarried, and wishing that I had done things differently.
Don't they all? But it's usually around the time when men stop paying attention to them. Post-wall.
So I'm going to pull up the post and we're going to read it together. So the first slide says, it's a thread. So the first slide said, so many women won't admit that they are miserable in their independence. I wish we could just be honest and say what it really is.
Why would you wish you could do something when you can? That doesn't make any sense. That's like me starving, wishing I had a meal, but I'm perfectly capable of cooking. She's exposing who they really are though. Being truthful about what they need is not a woman's best virtue.
A lot of women are exhausted, but they keep pursuing this lifestyle that society pushes on us, not feeling like they have another choice, but you do. And I mean, it's exhausting to be this strong, independent, I don't need no man for anything. It is exhausting to be both the man and the woman in a relationship, and more women need to speak up. More women need to teach our young girls who are following this narrative, who's following this whole feminist movement, be a boss, own businesses, get your degree. A lot more women need to speak up and say, yeah, it's one thing to chase the bag. I'm not saying be a bum and don't be educated and don't have ambition. I'm not saying that.
But that's what they think when a man asks them to just be feminine and be a good mother. But as they came to find out that it's almost impossible to do both. It's gonna be a challenging feat to be a boss chick and a good mother at the same time. Just as they expect us to be high-value men running companies, but they also want your attention all the time. It doesn't work.
However, in that pursuit of the bag, prioritize marriage and relationships and families. You can do them at both. You can go to school and prioritize learning how to work with a man at the same time. Okay? That whole idea of put boys on a back burner and focus on your education, that's false. And that's why so many of us find ourselves post 30 and single, myself included. All right.
I like personal stories. Juicy. Let's continue.
All right, so the next slide says, one of the biggest lies I was ever told as a young girl is that you have to be independent, otherwise your man will up and leave you high and dry with nothing.
It takes nothing to disprove that. It's those with their money think that they don't need a man that gets left behind. Broke women that know how to operate around men get snatched up all the time.
Now, as an adult looking at the life of the woman who said that to me, independence has done her no favors. Interesting. And yo, I talk a lot about the color purple syndrome. I talk a lot about Diary of a Mad Black Woman and all those movies who push this narrative to young girls. If you don't get your own, if you don't secure your bag, your man is going to eventually leave you for a younger, hotter virgin.
They've got it backwards. That's not why we leave at all. A lot of women have this narrative about men being intimidated by women that have their own. A woman making her own money is not a problem to men. The problem is how those men tend to get treated. A man is still expected to do the traditional things, being the breadwinner, but the same standards aren't upheld for women. He'd be lucky to come home to a cooked meal or a clean house.
And then we go in relationship with this fear. Say, hey, I have to have my own. I have to secure my bag. Get my own private money, my own private bank account that my man don't know about. I was told that growing up. Never make a man know how much you make.
You would be blown away by how factual that is. She's never as financially down as she would have you believe. In fact, since I've been using the banking system, I've seen way more women depositing money than men do. So if they're hiding theirs, whose are they spending? Most men don't know that their girlfriend or wife have multiple accounts. And if she does have one you know nothing about, she's probably one of those who's not planning on building with you.
Always have your savings, because a man can leave you like that. That fear that we put in our young girls to be afraid of our partners, afraid of our counterparts, the men who we're supposed to be building community with, building families with. We were told, be careful, be aware, have your own, secure your own, be independent. Because when the enemy, men, especially black men, when he decides to leave you, he's just going to get up and leave you with nothing. So make sure you have your stat. That is such a toxic advice to give. And so many black women receive that advice, and then now we look at men as the enemy. We have our guards up when we enter these relationships.
Mothers pass their insecurities and trust issues down to their daughters. The cycle continues, but throughout the cycles, the men are always the problem. If they're not entering relationships in good faith, then what are the chances of it working out? When you're constantly thinking of what could go wrong, something just might. They're always on about manifesting abundance in their lives. How about manifesting good companionships? I mean, if manifestation really does work, wouldn't that be a good thing to always be talking about?
I think my mom didn't choose properly. She didn't vet properly, and then she kept on attracting undesirable men to her. So then to save me, she said, hey girl, don't trust no man, instead of saying vet properly.
And that's the piece they always leave out of the equation. Accountability. Choose properly, but if it turned out to be a bad decision, don't hold it over other men. But see, they won't do that, but they expect us to trust all women. Here's another example of why a lot of women are by themselves.
Question that so many females and some men have nowadays. Why struggle with a man? Why would I be doing bad with a man when I can do bad all by myself, or I can do better by myself? You don't have teamwork skills. You don't work well with others. You don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to operate in a household where everything don't just go your way. That is why you do better by yourself. Y'all mamas didn't tell y'all this part. They told y'all the first part, well, you shouldn't be struggling with a man. She didn't tell you that if you don't acquire the skills to work well with others, you won't be able to do better with others. This is why a lot of y'all don't understand the concept that you can be in a group or a team and things should be going better. But if y'all don't know how to organize, if you don't know how to manage emotions, if you don't got boundaries, you will use one another up. You will always feel like a victim if you don't have goals and the right mindset. If you can't take personal accountability for your choices, you will be in a space where it will feel like it's worse with a partner than it is by yourself.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
Y'all be thinking y'all be knowing everything and don't be knowing a thing. Typing up these posts with great attitude in them, you could tell. Don't argue with me, argue with your mammy. No, you should actually go argue with your mammy for telling you that half truth. She didn't bring it all the way full circle. The stuff you just typed don't make sense. That you run around saying to niggas don't make sense. Well, why would I stay with you and struggle when I can just be? It works out well when you're by yourself because you don't know how to work with others. You ever seen children that don't know how to share? They don't know how to play with other children because all they feel like is everything belongs to them. So they don't share their toys. They don't know how to play games to take turns. Don't know how to let somebody go and then they go after, or they go first and then move out of the way and let the other person go. So your kid be sitting off crying by themselves with no friends, no social relationships. Nobody wants to be around them. They can be as spoiled as they want. You can buy them all the nice clothes. They can be the best dressed in the class, and